So here's something funny. Last week, a buddy of mine spent 3 hours buried in a spreadsheet just to decide whether to quit his job. Scenarios, numbers, probabilities, the whole 9 yards. And in the end, he still couldn't make the leap. Another friend? She quit in 5 minutes. No data, no models, just went with her gut. Two completely different operating systems, one frozen by calculation, the other running blind on conviction. And it made me wonder, what about you? Are you more of a spreadsheet or a scripture? Because most of the time when we're faced with a big decision, we kind of feel like we have to pick. Like, are you the type who crunches the numbers or the type who just follows your instincts? The truth is, that split doesn't really hold up anymore. What if the only move that really works is both, just in the right order? Because when life's moving faster than your inbox can refresh, leaning only on calculation leaves you stuck, and leaning only on conviction leaves you lost. So maybe it's time we stop choosing between the two, and instead install a new kind of mental operating system, one that lets you act wisely and adapt constantly. Most poor decisions don't happen because we're dumb. They happen because the system we use to decide breaks down. And that system usually fails in two predictable ways, two enemies, two walls. The first is the raw calculation trap. This is the pragmatist's failure. You try to analyze every variable, every scenario, hunting for the perfect data-driven answer. But the world is simply too complex to compute every choice. At some point, you slam into the cognitive wall. Your mind runs out of bandwidth. And instead of clarity, you get analysis paralysis. A life stuck in an endless explore loop, scrolling, researching, deliberating, but never deciding. The process itself becomes the bottleneck. Data trapped in silos, endless preparation work, IT bottlenecks, dashboards no one trusts, paralysis with good formatting. The second is runaway ideology. This is the believer's failure. A useful idea, a conviction, slowly hardens into a sacred idol. Your goals get hijacked by ego, groupthink, confirmation bias. You crash into the dogma wall. You stop testing beliefs against reality because defending the belief itself becomes more important than the truth it was supposed to serve. Useful ideas turned into idols. Maybe you've even been this person, sticking to a belief even when the evidence is cracking beneath it. So how do we get past those two walls? We need a better filtering mechanism, something that gives us direction without paralysis and speed without blindness. And for that, we can look to what Vitalik Buterin calls idea-driven ideas. Buterin reminds us the human mind isn't a supercomputer. We're bounded by rationality. We can't analyze every piece of data for every decision, so the brain cheats. It builds shortcuts, frames, big-picture heuristics that help us navigate complexity. Think about a chess player. A materialist might hold the idea-driven idea, a queen is worth 9 pawns, a rook 5. Is that statement always true? Not really. In some positions, a pawn is priceless, but as a rule of thumb, it's fast. It saves the player from drowning in infinite possibilities. It lets them exploit, make a quick, good enough decision instead of getting lost in endless explore mode. That's the power of an idea-driven idea. It's a simplifying lens, a compass. It doesn't give you perfect truth, but it gives you enough structure to move. But, and here's the danger, if left unchecked, these powerful tools can become our tyrants. The same compass that helps us find our way can harden into the dogma wall we saw earlier. And that's the paradox. The very shortcut that saves us can also trap us. To reject the false choice between being a data-driven spreadsheet and an idea-driven scripture. This OS integrates both, allowing you to act with the conviction of your principles and the agility of evidence. The goal is not perfect decisions, but a robust process for making wise ones. This isn't just theory. This is a working kit you can install today, your own 5-step system for acting wisely in a complex world. This is the foundation of your OS. These are your non-negotiable rules for life and work. They are limiting, not totalizing. They tell you what not to do, leaving you free to navigate within those boundaries. Draft 3 to 5 guardrail principles. Write them down in plain language. They are your do-don't boundaries. Example, optimize for learning rate over title, or never compromise health for short-term gain. These are your moral and strategic metal detectors. 2. Build your idea backlog. This is where your ideas, beliefs, and hypotheses are tested against reality. For any significant decision that passes your principles gate, run it through this structured filter. List your core convictions, your idea-driven ideas, as testable hypotheses. What do you want to believe is true about your career, health, or investments? Example, joining this startup beats the promotion, or stable glucose leads to better energy. These are your flights you want to screen. 3. Create an evidence gate. For each hypothesis, define what success and failure look like before you test it. What specific data would confirm or disconfirm your idea? What would genuinely force you to change your mind? This builds galaxy brain resistance, principles that stop clever self-justifications from laundering bad actions or clinging to outdated beliefs. Example, for the startup, specific metrics for runway, founder history, early user pain. For health, CGM trends, sleep scores, labs. 4. Keep a decision journal. For every big choice, log the date, context, which principles you checked, a snapshot of the evidence you used, your chosen action, and the expected outcome. This is your personal flight recorder. 5. Pre-mortem and update cadence. Why could this decision fail? Schedule a monthly or quarterly audit. Review your journal and literally give yourself permission to change your mind when the data, filtered through your principles, says so. This makes learning and adaptation a core part of your system. This system is designed to protect you from the 2 great failure modes of modern decision-making. It avoids the cognitive wall by using principles as fast shortcuts, preventing analysis paralysis. It avoids the dogma wall by forcing your cherished ideas to be tested against predefined evidence, preventing you from becoming rigid and reality-resistant. It provides galaxy brain resistance, a bulwark against your own ability to cleverly justify actions that violate your core values. That's the Cognitive OS upgrade. Conviction first, calibration second. If this clicked with you, try putting it into practice in your own life. The next time you face a big choice, ask, what's the guiding idea here? And then, does it still hold up against the evidence?